In this gripping investigation, deception unravels before our eyes amidst haunting silence.
What do you notice in all these interviews? Here's the first interview. Here's the second interview with WFTV. And here's the third interview with Fox News. Stephen Stern.
All right, before we get into that, I want to thank you, M.M. Clark. Do you think Jennifer Soto didn't have a pic because she factory reset? I think she didn't have a picture because she wasn't there and she was looking for the ones that they sent her. So she probably didn't download them yet. I'm just being realistic here. I don't think that she factory reset. When somebody sends you a picture to your text message and you don't hit the download button, you have to go through your text message to find the text message from that person and pull up the photo. I think she just didn't download it. Just to be honest and real with the best answer I give you. I don't think it was a factory reset. All right, let's go.
Burns is with Jen every time she tells this story. And this is typical of co-conspirators. And they do this for three reasons. First, they need to avoid contradicting each other in case they ever get split up and have to tell their story separately. So every time Jen tells a story, Stefan has to be near her so he can hear what she's saying and make sure that he matches up everything with her. Second, they have to ensure that their dynamic is plausible. And as I pointed out last time I paused, I think they failed on this terribly. And third, because co-conspirators know that one could always just turn on the other, they have to divide up culpability in their stories. And I think this might be part of the reason that they constantly say, well, we dropped her off and I dropped her off or Stefan dropped her off, because they want the option to be able to share culpability in case one turns on the other. Of course, I might be giving them more credit than they're due. It might just be because they're bad liars and it's a made up story. So it's hard to actually use the correct pronoun every time you tell it.
Right. And Deception Detective's on point. We've said it over and over and over. And thank you. Like I did last time for you, you did my job for me. I've been meaning to do that and take the interviews back to back so people can see the consistency of the story and how they pretty much told the same thing every time. And then it stopped. Nothing got in more detail at all, ever. So thank you, Dee Dee, for helping me do my job. All right. Great minds think alike. God, I'm glad I found your channel.
And he also conveniently demonstrated all the hallmarks of a scripted story that Jen did earlier in her interviews, like no reminiscence effect, being totally vague, and being extremely reticent. The cards I've been showing on screen throughout this video are from my deception deck, my 52 favorite rules for spotting lies and manipulation. And one of them is dedicated to proactively figuring out if someone is telling you a made-up story. So before I wrap up this video, I'll just read you this card so that you have 4 techniques in your toolkit if you ever get the chance to question someone who you suspect is telling you a made-up story, rather than having to use all these techniques to figure out if they're doing it from afar. When dealing with uncooperative subjects, a key tactic is to increase their cognitive load. The stress of lying, combined with this increased mental demand, can significantly disrupt a liar's thought process. Effective techniques include surprise, asking unexpected questions that someone fabricating a story is unlikely to have anticipated. In other words, I do wish the police had split up Jen and Stefan and asked them, what did Madeline have for breakfast that morning? Because that's probably not something they scripted out beforehand. Detail, probing for intricate details that are often omitted in a fabricated narrative. In this case, it would be a very specific detail like, what was she wearing? And they tend to mess that up. Third, reversal, requesting the subject to recount their story in reverse chronological order. And fourth, speed, demanding quick responses and imposing penalties for hesitation. Want to see me analyze another story I think is scripted?
We do want to see that, and I'd love to see the Sherry Papini one. I saw that on your radar. You guys, it is worth getting a deck, whether you buy it on your phone. I particularly like the deck of cards here. A lot of times you'll see me use these when I analyze cases when I'm doing the same day as like a Chris Watts, and we're playing Deception Detective video. So the deck is great, even if you're not analyzing videos, just for yourself or on your phone. I don't get paid for this. I'm just, I really like it and it's helpful. So check out DD. Great.
Click the video on your screen now. If you want to continue the series, let's get this video to 50,000 views. You can also become a channel member and vote on who we analyze next. Until next time, stay true.
Stay true to Deception Detective, the crime crew, Watts the Obsession, Do Rod, Oblivious Benson, all of us. As Oblivious Benson likes to call us, the cult, because we stick together like glue. All right, I got another video for you. We're doing the back-to-back, and we're doing the power of observation, Jen's hidden body language. Now, this one just came out. Now it came out 10 days ago. They reclipped this. They still didn't get the fact right. I know a lot of you guys are going to say this about it. You're going to say it's not a bird. It's not an animal. It's animal feeder. But they just clipped this out. I want you to see body language versus statement analysis with the behavior panel. So again, they just put this out, not a super long one. It's about 15 minutes, and I have a couple things to wrap up the show with. I still have more information. I still have the memorial site pics I didn't get to show you, and I still have some questions to ask you, like, why would Stephen Stearns call his dad if he wasn't around and Stephen Stearns spoke bad about his parents? Was his dad there to aid him in something? Were they plotting on something? Or what was going on? What does his dad know? All right. There are a lot of questions that I have about this. Jen was on the trampoline during the interview. So she's doing this. All right, let's listen. Behavior analysis, behavior, what you do versus what you say. Okay, let's go. This isn't too long, but we're here together, and that's what counts. All right. Totally different perspective in a different way. Listen.
Jennifer Soto, JENNIFERSOTO.
Mother. Jennifer, tell me how you feel right now.
I feel like I can't breathe. All I keep thinking about is, where is she? Is she safe? Is she okay? But we're all the wreck. My entire family's a mess. We're just so worried.
When did you first realize, or when did you follow this report?
We filed a missing report. We called the police at like 4:45 yesterday, 4:45 p.m. But she actually went missing early that morning, around between 8:45 and 9 o'clock in the morning. She went missing. We had dropped her off close to the school. She wanted to walk the rest of the way.
Again, I couldn't do that. I don't know what psychotic medication she was on. I can't say. Her eyes were very wide open. She didn't look high like some of the other videos. She looked a little bit higher. But this one she actually smiles in, which is not, if we were to compare a mother that's grieving in a way, my child's missing. Okay. That's not what you're going to get, is a smirk or a smile. She thought that they were going to do a take 2 on this, which didn't happen.
That should be it. Sorry about that.
Right.
All right, I'll go first on this one. Right out of the gate, it looks like she's got some kind of neurological disorder, which she doesn't. She's just jiggling her leg. I used to do that on here, and people would say, "What's wrong with this cop?" Because I jiggle my leg, it looked like I was doing this, looked like I had some kind of disease. But I didn't. I was like, I didn't even realize it until I watched it. Until I watched me doing it. So that's what we're seeing with her, and it's good we're seeing this, because as stress rises, the more that foot or that leg jiggles, and we see her start jiggling even more. So this is going to be, as we go through these videos, keep an eye on that, and remember, the more stressed she becomes, the more she jiggles her leg, and we can see her stress level go through the dang roof here at some point, in some parts. And in this one as well, we're seeing.
And we saw that on everything, her moving and swaying. Thank you, Melly, for the super sticker. Appreciate it always. I don't think it was an injury, Jess. I don't think she had an injury from anything. She wasn't taking any pain medication that was prescribed. I think she was really just high anxiety for herself and Stephen Stearns, and that's why they keep telling that freaking story. You can't say I can't sleep, I can't eat. Why say I feel like I can't breathe? Many people speculate she says she can't breathe and she feels a heavy chest, because that's what Maddie felt before her life got taken, a heavy chest and not being able to breathe. That's just, in my opinion.
Compressed lips. We're seeing all the great cues of stress that we look for and teach about. And this is a great example of that. Now, when they start calling the dog and she stops and starts smiling, this tells us so much, because not only are we seeing things that cause stress, we're not seeing a couple of things. We're not seeing tears. We're not seeing the stress or concern we should be seeing there. We're seeing what looks to me like fear most of the time. So you can say, oh, she's fearful. What's the matter?
All right. Before I ever even saw this, that was my look that I thought she had was fear. I called CM. I asked CM, does that look like she's scared and she's afraid because Maddie's missing and she might not come home? And CM said the same thing. She looked like she was in fear that she was going to get caught or tripped up on the story or arrested that day. She was definitely not, in my opinion, in fear for Maddie. So I'm glad that they said that. I feel like I can't breathe as leakage as well. I've said that all along.
What's wrong with her daughters? Where is she? Is she going to be okay? All that. I don't think that's I don't think that's the fear she's looking for, that we're looking for at this point, or what we're seeing. So when they finally finish calling the dog and things start quieting down, she quits smiling. She automatically goes, she resets and gets back into that fake sadness she's got on her face. She doesn't even know how to do that. And then when the question starts again, that leg jiggling starts and she starts jumping around again. So let's keep in mind as we go through this. Again, I want to stress, watch the shaking because it makes all the difference in the world as far as letting you know what's happening from a perspective of stress on a human as they're going through questioning like this. And there's a reason that she's feeling that stressed. All right, Mark, what do you got?
Yeah, so same as you, interested first off, is it something about the neurology? Could it be stimming of some sort? And then we get, during her answers, very little eye contact. Her eyes go up. Again, could be something with a neurotype. It is certainly out of the ordinary in this kind of interview situation to not get.
And we're going to see what he says. But when the eyes go up, they're usually drawing from memory. That much I do know. That much I can tell you when I'm talking to someone in general, or when you ask, like a little kid, I'll ask Reese, I see ice cream all over the counter. And I ask her, did you do that? Did you make that mess? And she looks up like she wants to tell me a story. She's trying to remember what the story is that she's going to tell me. So little kids are very telling. And when you can hone in on what little kids do, it's easier to hone in on what adults do. They do the same exact thing. All right. So yeah, since Cerber, it looks like, oh shit. Oh shit. Like she's afraid she's going to be caught. And they could have said, give me your phone right then and there. And they didn't. So we don't know what she did. But I want you to know it takes